Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another film review. As we're getting near the end of the year, I'm trying to cover a few 2024 horror films just to sum up all the films that we've sort of had, well, that I've come across this year. And it's been an absolute wonderful year for horror films. It really has. And there will be a top 10 best horror films of 2024 coming up very shortly. But today we're looking at a 2024 film called Longlegs, which has had a lot of publicity, a lot of people loving it, a lot of people disliking it. This is a film about an FBI agent called Lee Harkin, and she's a troubled girl. When the film sort of starts off when she's a young girl, and she's bothered by a lot of things. She's almost got like this ability, not sort of psychic, but she's got a great puzzle solving sort of ability and sort of way about her. She sort of sees things before they sort of like she senses it. And as a young girl, she senses this, and she sees this guy sitting in a car outside. The film starts off really weird because it's shot in like an old sort of like a 4.3 sort of ratio. And she's out in the snow outside her house, and she meets this strange guy who sort of freaks her out, and that's Longlegs. So we meet him really early in the film, and he's played by Nicolas Cage. And then the film sort of cuts to her as an FBI agent, and they're on the hunt for a serial killer called Longlegs. Now, she hasn't sort of put one and one together yet. She's got this memories going on in her brain of this guy, and she sort of senses him about, and she knows deep down that she knows she's met him and who this Longlegs guy is. But she's uncertain about it. But she's investigating all these sort of murders. And there's one point in the film where they go out to call out around the street to see if anybody's seen this guy. And she senses this house. She goes, he's in there. The guy's in there. And so she goes, she won't go to the door, but her colleague does. And he knocks on the door. As soon as the guy opens the door, he gets his head blown off with a shotgun. So then she goes in and she catches this guy. And this is a guy that's almost in a trance, and he's quite willing to go. So they've caught this one guy, but this is not their serial killer, because other killings have been happening. They find murders that have happened months ago. And stuff like this, and there's some sort of coincidences. They've all got like a daughter whose birthday falls on the 14th of a month, and no, yeah, on the 14th of a month, and a murder happens 6 days prior to that sort of like happening. So they've got some. She's sort of fathoming out all these clues because Longlegs has been doing all these algorithms, sort of puzzles, a bit like the Zodiac killer. And she's been able to sort of figure them out because she knows, she's had years of doing this sort of thing. And she lives in this sort of creepy kind of house, and she's sort of haunted by this this character, and it seems to follow her around. She sees him in places, and she sort of like goes, on a hunt for him at times when there's no one there. And she's got a detective partner, this sort of black dude who's got a young family, and she gets introduced to them, and he sort of like works along close with her because since before she got on the case, this serial killer case was like stone cold. They had no sort of evidence, but as soon as she came on the case, all these sort of things started to happen. And she's starting to figure out a lot of things. She figures out something that happened in a previous murder on a farm, where there's one survivor, a young girl, who's now in like a mental institution. And they go to the farm. She sort of solves this puzzle, and it comes out with like this symbol, which is from the Ninth Circle of Hell, which is a book. She's been reading this and obviously getting sort of clues from this, and they go to this farm and they find this strange doll, and this doll is almost like an Annabelle kind of thing that's sort of cursed and cursing the family, and all these have been made by Longlegs because he's a doll maker. So he's almost been like a Charles Manson character by sort of like getting these families to kill each other, sort of thing. And it's a really sort of like really clever film. It was amazing, and I absolutely loved it. From start to finish, I was gripped into the film. It was absolutely incredible. It's one of the best films I've seen this year, hands down. A lot of people are very, very too, but because there's no. I'll show you the mistake. That the scariest film in decades. It's not scary. It's not scary at all. It's fucking creepy, and it's full of atmosphere, and it's full of sort of doom and dread, and it's filmed with some amazing photography. Where when it's shot, that it's like the room is all open. You know, a lot of films when they shoot, the characters are like this. You know, the close up. They're shot quite back, so you can see a lot of the room. So you're looking to see if there's anything happening behind the person and things like this. And it's shot in a wide open spaces in some incredible environments. Lee Harkin's house it's a very bizarre house. It's almost like a wooden cabin, and it's sort of like got these narrow sort of rooms, but then big wide open rooms as she sort of investigates her crime and stares out the window because she hears these noises going on outside, and we get some wonderful shots of her looking out at this cold winter sort of time out of a window, and it's really marvelously shot. And all the characters in the film are all memorable. They were all fantastic. They all had an important role to play in the film, even to the very, very camp doctor at the mental institution. He talks like that. Hello. He does. He talks like that. You can see it's not his real voice, but he's very, very camp. But his character is really cool. We get to meet the survivor, and she's fantastic. She's very creepy, and of course we get to meet Longlegs. And I've got to say, this is the best role I've ever seen Nicolas Cage play. He was absolutely terrifying. He was a very creepy, almost Art the Clowny kind of character. He's very pale with long white hair and wears his white clothes, and he's got an amazing, bizarre way about him. Script where people question him, he'll burst into song. He's very into Mark Bolan and T-Rex, so we get a lot of T-Rex songs in the film, which is amazing because I love T-Rex. So that was incredible. But he was terrifying, but he wasn't scary. He was terrifying. But the film is absolutely creepy. It plays out like a cop film, like sort of, Seven, when they were going doing the investigations at the murders. It almost plays out like that, but with this creepy guy Longlegs, who is something to do with the supernatural and Satan, and he's made somebody make a pact with him, and this is what's happening. And so these families are getting hypnotized by this creepy fucking dolls, and they're just going wild and acting like Amityville, where you'll get one of them is killing all the family and then killing himself. And it's a really, really clever film, absolutely amazing. One negative about the film, though, The negative about the film is in the third part of the film, there's like a 10-minute segment where the film needs and decides it needs to tell you what's happening and what's happened. We know what's happened. Now, this happens a lot in American horror films. I don't know if American audiences struggle to figure stories out or whatever, but do we really need? I figured this all out as it was going along. I figured out that what this Longlegs character is, and what he's doing, and he's not working alone. I figured all this out as I was going along. I didn't need um, that segment where she starts going back into the time and telling us what happened. Didn't need it. That sort of ruined a little bit of the film. And I'm just thinking, take that bit out, that 10 minutes. Add something in, like a 10-minute longer interview with Longlegs because they at some point in the film they bring him in for questioning, and that's when we get some amazing acting from Nicolas Cage. And I think give us more of that than telling us what we've just seen. We don't need to know that. It's one of my pet hates of American horror films. No other country films do that. Feel the need to explain what's happened, but it's almost like a Scooby-Doo moment. And I'm just thinking, take those out, take them out. We don't need them. We're adults. We know how to work things out in our head. But that was the only negative. Now, the positives. It looks amazing. It's shot so well. The photography, the cinematography in this film is incredible. It blew me away. The shadows were fantastic. All the colours were completely drabbed and drained out of the film. It's a very brown and sort of like dull green colours in the film. Almost looks like a 1970s sort of film. And it plays out really, really well. The acting is phenomenal, really, really cool. All the characters were believable. Every character that came into the scenes, I really enjoyed, and thought, yes, you need to be in this film. You get a lot of characters in films, and you think, what was the point in them being in it? They were just there, or they were just cannon fodder. But every character was meant to be in this film and meant something. And I loved that. That was really, really cool. And it's well paced, really well paced story. It is a slow burn film, guys. There's not a lot of like scares or things like that. There is some kills and some sort of disturbing scenes and some gore, but they're manageable. They're not like anything sort of grotesque or too bad. There's a couple of little bit of moments when were a bit unsettling, but apart from that, it was fantastic. Really, really cool. An essential watch. 10 out of 10. Take away that. Don't look at that, guys. Right, 10 out of 10. What people have been doing, they've been reading these reviews. Right, I'm thinking, oh, it's the scariest film in decades. And they're going into watch expecting to find this really scary film, like Blair Witch or something like that, really scary, and that. But it's not. It's not scary at all. It's messed up, it's creepy, and it's atmospheric, but it's not scary. So get that out of your head if you've not seen it and you're going to go in to watch it. Get that out of your head. Go in there thinking, I'm going to be watching an FBI horror film where they're investigating this killer, where it's got like this sort of satanic overtones to it. And you'll go in and you'll have the fucking wonderful time because it's amazing. Longlegs, 10 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. I thought it was absolutely incredible. I was blown away. Yes, it took me a while to sort of, so many people have been putting this down and saying, oh, how bad it is. Rubbish. And this goes to me and proves to me that I have to stop listening to people's views. And I'm giving you my view. I'm hypocritical, really, aren't I? But I mean, I'm on a personal sort of level because it puts me off some films, and I just think, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to see that if it's that bad or that rubbish that's that overhyped. And I'm just thinking, but then when this sort of the sea calms and people stop talking about something, then I like to delve into it, and then I can go in trying my best to forget what people have said about it. But sometimes in a way that helps, because it makes me think, I'm not going to let your opinion dominate my view of the film. So I went in this blank canvassed, and I came out thinking that was an amazing film. Really cool, and I can't wait to watch it again. That's what makes a good film. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. This will be in my top 10 films of 2024. Until that, and any other sort of reviews, please check out some other horror channels. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzawell, The Maniac, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.